Turning now to the U.S. Senate race between Democrat Gary Peters and Republican Terri Lynn. More ads on TV and a call from Peters to have 5 debates before November. So it's been a little quiet.
You have to wake me up for at least 3 of those.
Well, now come on now. Okay, so before we even talk about the debate issue, let me ask you this. It's been a little quiet. We're starting to see a little bit more ads. Nolan, what are you hearing from both campaigns?
Well, you know, that is a November race, and we're now in the primary season for candidates who have primaries. These primaries are going to be gobbling up a lot of the media time and a lot of the attention of voters. I don't know that there's any point for either one of these candidates to be making a huge surge in June and July. I think right now you're seeing sort of maintenance campaigning. The race is fairly even according to all the polls. Keep it there. The push will start after Labor Day.
Describe maintenance campaigning to me, Stephen.
I don't know that.
Well, they're not spending any of their own money.
Right. Well,
you've got outside groups coming in, spending a little spending a lot actually on their behalf, but it's not the sort. It's nothing compared to what you're going to see in September.
Right. See, that's when this race will really take over. I think all of the sort of headlines. It's the race at the top of the ticket, because I think the governor's
nationwide,
race,
I think
the governor's race is going to lack some electricity,
sizzle.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the race that people are really going to be into, and that the outside groups will really dump money into fuel.
And it's going to be a national campaign. People are all over the country going to be watching this race. But right now, the candidates are focused primarily on fundraising. They're not out here with the day-to-day retail campaigning. They're, raising money for that fall surge.
Yeah.
All right, so could we see 5 debates?
No.
I know we're not going to see 5 debates, but let's talk about the fact that when a candidate comes out and says, well, I'll do 5 debates,
well, here's
what
why,
does that say
here's
to
why
the other
that's,
candidate who's
here's
like,
why that's smart. Here's why that's smart if you're Gary Peters, because that's probably the best forum to highlight the difference between you and Terri Lynn. Terri Lynn would do horribly in those debates, and almost everybody knows it, and Gary Peters knows it. So, the smart and he's not a bad debater. So the smart thing to do is to say, well, I'll do as many as we can schedule, and
one a week.
Right, right. Let's do it every day, as a way to draw that contrast and to make her look like she's either afraid to debate him, or that she knows that she would lose, or whatever. I mean, we see that a lot in campaigns when there's such a. That is one way in which these candidates are very badly matched. That would not go well for her, I don't suspect.
Go ahead. No.
Yeah, I think you probably should see 2 debates: one East Michigan, one West Michigan, one on domestic issues, one on foreign policy issues, and I think that should be enough for voters. The voters who are going to engage and make their decision based on debates. 2 debates will be enough. 5 will just absolutely.
But I would also say it will be criminal if there aren't any debates.
There may not be a debate in either of these campaigns.
Yeah, and that's a big problem.
If you were the governor, would you?
Well, again,
you think that there wouldn't be a debate in either one of these campaigns?
There might not be. There might not be. Why would the governor want to? I mean, Mark Schauer now has something like less than 50% name recognition in the state. Why would you help that?
Right. Well,
I mean, it's from a political viewpoint.
But that's a tremendous disservice to voters.
I was just going to
say.
And
that's part of the problem in the state, is that the campaigns themselves control the debate process. They decide how and when and where these things take place, and voters, who are the ones who need the information and want to see this stuff, have no real say.
I think debates are very, very valuable, and you should at least have 1 debate for the gubernatorial race. You should at least have 2 for the Senate.
But there's going to be political calculations here made on both sides.
And they shouldn't be able to do that.
Though? But isn't that lousy when you are supposed to? Well, okay, if you really want to go down that rabbit hole. But I mean, shouldn't a debate, be one of the most necessary things for people who maybe aren't reading the newspaper every day or not watching?
But you say that, and that's very good civics, and we're all we ought to do that. But we put a debate on, and we do it ostensibly on behalf of the voters, right. And 13 of them watch.
No, well, that's not.
No,
that's
I don't
not
think
true.
that's
the gubernatorial debate 4 years ago, lots of people watched that.
Well, that's because we did.
That's because we did. I will also say that Nolan and I have had an idea for a while about creating a consortium of media outlets statewide that agrees to stage debates for statewide races each time, which would take control away from the campaigns. No campaign would be able to not show up for a debate that everybody
if it were expected and scheduled
That's right.
every campaign cycle, rather than become this whole negotiating
Yes.
system, where we're going to do it, how it's going to be set up.
Whose air is it going to be on?
You can never, you get two candidates who say, nobody will say, I'm not going to debate. What they'll say is, oh, I'll debate. And then when it gets down to the negotiating, the conditions start piling up and they never come to an agreement.
And maybe that's one of those things that people don't really see
Yeah.
On the outside, is that negotiation process that it takes to actually get a debate, a televised debate, or or something else.
It's insane.
Indiana has a debate commission that is cooperation between media outlets and the universities in that state, and they have not had a statewide race that did not have, I think, at least 2 debates since they started that. So,
but we will extend a formal invite right now to the candidates.
I always hate it when no one just starts and goes and says.
First and second, what night we are? Thursday. First and second Thursday in October, we invite them. Governor's the first week, Senate the second week.
Right.
Come on in here and we'll moderate a debate. Right. Yeah. And if they don't like us, they can pick somebody else.
So while we kind of, I guess, wrap up the debate topic, are debates, because I feel obviously very passionate about it, are debates very important for people, or have they become so sanitized and so calculated that they maybe don't even give people what they're designed to give?
Here's the truth. They get lost. Unless a candidate just flops or really soars in a debate, and usually that doesn't happen, they get lost in the $10–20 million of other spending on television. That half hour on public TV of a debate can't compete with hours and hours of these attack ads and distorted commercials that will fill our airways all fall.
No, or Stephen, what do you think?
I mean, I think they can be valuable when they're staged properly, and when there's an actual exchange that's possible between the candidates. We've let the campaigns control this as much as they control everything else, and that leads to, I think, some pretty vacuous debates. I can think of some disastrous debates that we've had. Remember the gubernatorial debate up on Mackinac 4 years ago, which was absolute circus.
People just quit.
Yeah, right. People just stopped.
People just quit and walked off. But there will be somewhere north of $250 million spent on election campaigns in Michigan this season, and the bulk of that money will be financing distorted messages.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so I don't know if there are enough forums to counter that.
All right. Well, we'll be watching.